Our thoughts shape the way that we perceive the world and ourselves. But sometimes our thinking can be less than helpful, negative, distorted, leading to negative emotions, unhelpful behaviors, and inaccurate judgments. When this type of thinking happens, it's known as having thinking errors. These thinking errors can affect our mental health, relationships, and daily life. Thinking errors can be commonly known as cognitive distortions, automatic negative thoughts, and negative or unhelpful thoughts. Some people don't like the idea of changing negative thoughts because the thoughts are actually true. But even if the thoughts are true, if they don't help you move towards your goal, then you should try to think about something else. And many people, if they do that, can become unstuck from where they are. But it doesn't really matter what you call them, as long as you learn to recognize negative thought patterns. With all the extreme thinking that cognitive distortions can bring about, they're frequently part of the start of a negative loop that can send you spiraling deeper and deeper into depression until it seems like there's no way out. This explains why people who experience low moods, anxiety, and low self-esteem frequently engage in distorted thinking. But how does this loop appear? A thought influences your emotions and physical sensations, which in turn influence your behavior. Your subsequent thought is then brought on by your behavior, which restarts the cycle. Thinking errors can be caused by a variety of factors. Here are some common causes of thinking errors. Number 1, past experiences. Our past experiences can shape our thoughts and beliefs. And if we have experienced negative events, we may develop negative thought patterns that can lead to cognitive distortions. 2, cultural and societal influences. Cultural and societal values and beliefs can shape the way we think and perceive the world and can lead to cognitive biases. 3, emotional states. Our emotional state can influence the way we think and perceive things. When we start to feel anxious or depressed, for example, we might be more likely to engage in negative or distorted thinking and bad behavior. 4, lack of information. When we don't have enough information about a situation or event, we might fill in the gaps with assumptions or beliefs that may not be accurate. 5, cognitive processes. Our brains are wired to take shortcuts and make quick judgments based on limited information. While this can be helpful in some situations, it can also lead to cognitive biases and errors. 6, socialization and upbringing. Our upbringing and socialization can influence the way we think and perceive things. If we were raised in an environment where perfection was expected, for example, we may be prone to all or nothing thinking. It's important to recognize that thinking errors are a natural part of the human experience, and everyone engages in them to some extent. However, it is also important to realize that engaging in cognitive distortions frequently can lead to a negative loop that can cause someone to spiral deeper and deeper into depression. Cognitive distortions can also lead to other mental problems, including anxiety symptoms, low self-esteem, lack of motivation, and problematic relationships because your thoughts influence your emotions and physical sensations, which in turn influence your behavior. But by becoming more aware of our own cognitive biases and actively challenging them, we can develop a more balanced, accurate view of ourselves and the world around us, and feel better and engage in behavior that actually helps us meet our goals. The first step to changing these cognitive distortions or unhealthy thinking is to identify what we tell ourselves. No one is immune from negative thinking, but we can challenge unhealthy thinking by examining the evidence and disarming it with biblical truth. And remember what Ephesians 4 tells us about our minds. You were taught, with regard to your former way of life, to put off your old self, which is being corrupted by its deceitful desires, to be made new in the attitude of your minds, and to put on the new self, created to be like God in true righteousness and holiness.